Welcome to this week's episode of No Cover Music Magazine here at American Guitar Boutique, 707 13th Street, Phoenix City, Alabama. We are here today with Miss Ronni Wright. She's going to do some singing and playing. You've been playing around town for a little while.
Oh yeah, it's been a few minutes.
Yeah? So people can catch you as a solo artist with a band, a trio?
Yeah, I have a trio, yeah.
Okay, all right. Well, so tell me a little bit about what got you into playing and singing.
I have a musical family. I had throat cancer when I was 16, and they told me I'd never be able to sing, which was hard to deal with because my mother was a really good singer. She was a rock and roll singer, and she met my dad when he came to audition for her band. So, or my stepdad, but he's my dad. So, they've been married 32 or 33 years. We call them the old hippies. They actually did the Dee Armstrong show because they've been married so long and they were hippies to start with. But I got dragged to a lot of their gigs and always wanted to do it. Always wanted to sing because I wrote these beautiful songs. And they told me I'm not allowed to talk. You know, at 16 years old, the doctor says, I want you to count your words, don't talk very much. And you're like, I'm a 16-year-old girl. How am I supposed to pull that off?
Right.
But I did. And sometime later, it just was completely gone.
Well, you're doing a bunch of original songs that you wrote for us here tonight. Tell me a little bit about this first one that you're going to do.
Oh, the first one is called Gypsy Glory. I love that song. It's my favorite out of all the ones that I've written because it was a story from when I was 13 years old. We lived out in the country, and it was a poor man's farm in the middle of nowhere, and everybody on the whole hill was family. And my mother told us never go down below the bridge on your way to school because there are gypsies living down there. I don't want you to have anything to do with them. You know, this white trash, stay away from them. And I was like, we're white trash. What's the big deal? So, you know, being a good kid and listening to my mother, I went straight down there on my way to school the next day and met all these people. And the lady that was there, her name was Samara, and she had a son named Giorgio, and they're actually in my book. And they were very fascinating people to me. And every time she'd tell a story around firelight, she sang it. And it was just something that stayed with me my whole life. So that was really her song. There's something glorious about it. It was just great.
Let's take a listen.
Sparkling emerald jewels for eyes, light the darkest heart. Gypsy tales of a moonless night and passion in the dark. She spun the fairy gypsy yarn, her voice so soft and tender. Never had another woman more chilling tales to render. In songs of faded gypsy glory, where often the young ones speak, you'll find the spirit of a gypsy queen with firelight on her cheek. And she'll be dancing there with them, chilling ghostly pale, spinning fairy gypsy yarns, passing on her tail. Ooh, 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 gypsy glory never fades. Firelight that would burn the night with coals as hot as rapture. Sparkle bright with a gypsy light, each peasant heart to capture. Generation shadows leap from eerie puffs of smoke to lend the song to a gypsy story the ancestry awoke. In songs of faded gypsy glory, where often the young ones speak, you'll find the spirit of a gypsy queen with firelight on her cheek. And she'll be dancing there with them, chilling ghostly pale, spinning fairy gypsy yarns, passing on her tail. Ooh, gypsy glory never fades. Only she with a gypsy glee could tell them such a tale. Only she, a gypsy queen, could touch the deep regale Her shadow's just a memory, just a light leaping out of the flame. As ages pass in a tender story, her children shall rename. In songs of faded gypsy glory, where often the young ones speak, you shall find the spirit of a gypsy queen. She's got firelight on her cheek, and she'll be dancing there with them, chilling ghostly pale, spinning fairy gypsy yarns, passing on her tail. Ooh, gypsy glory never fades, sparkling emerald jewels for eyes, light the darkest heart. Gypsy tales of a moonless night and passion in the dark.
So that's a great tune. How old were you when you started playing guitar?
32.
Really?
Yeah. I've been singing my whole life and writing, but I never actually played a musical instrument because I felt like, well, crap, if I can't sing, I don't want to play. And my dad said, well, you could do stuff with the family if you actually played guitar. So I was like, yeah, I could do that. And then just miraculously, when my throat healed, I was just all over the place. I was like, oh my gosh, I've got to get better at guitar now. And I still am not as good as I should be. I really learned to play to accompany myself, and I haven't had a lot of experience like most writers have.
Well, do you play any other instruments or just guitar?
I do. I play keyboards a little bit, play piano. I love piano. And I have just about anything percussion, I can play it.
Well, what's the next tune that you want to sing for us?
It's called Gunslinger. This one hasn't actually been recorded, so I'm working on it. I have a new producer. His name's Michael John Thomas, and he lives in Anniston. So I have to make long trips to get to the studio to get the sound that I want, but he is so good at what he does. Mm-hmm. And this one is on the new album.
Okay.
Stood upon their battlefield, pistols poised and drawn. One to earn the name of fame, the other dying there at dawn. She'd never understood his ways, his need to shoot through life. Though he knew he loved her well, he'd never call her wife. And now he's running from the law, his shadow on the plains, running away from all he's known. Gunslinger in the rain, done the best that he knew how, hoping that he'd been right. Somehow he hoped she could understand. Gunslingers had to fight. Street, the rain's still in his hands, hat brim's drained against the wind. He dared to take his stand. Baptized in the pouring rain, he held his hat upright, and waving it to her empty window, he faded from the light. And now he's running from the law, his shadow on the plains, running away from all he's known. Gunslinger in the rain, he'd done the best that he knew how, praying that he'd been right. Someday he hoped she could understand. Gunslingers had to fight. Running from the law, his shadow on the plain, running away from that woman he loved. Gunslinger's life is pain. He'd done the best that he knew how, praying that he'd been right. Someday he hoped she could understand. He was born to fight.
mentioned going out and recording in the next album. Do you have music that is for sale or people can buy from you? Where can someone go to get some of your music?
ReverbNation.com/Ronni Wright.
Okay.
And I don't have all the songs on there, obviously, but I do have the last album on there, and some of my gospel songs are on there. Working on a new album called Deep Six. I'm hoping to have it done by October, if I can come up with the money.
Well, that's a long range goal. That's normally a pretty good amount of time to get a recording done. So
it is, and I've been working on them a long time, and some of the tracks are already down. It's just having the time to go to the studio and sing them fresh. And I had pneumonia when we did the last album, so I had this gravelly sound in my voice. I kind of want to do it a little clearer now that I can. So
I always ask people that are into doing a lot of recording and a songwriter, do you have a process? I mean, do you write lyrics and then try and come up with the music for it? Do you have some music that you try and come up with lyrics for? Does it kind of just go either way? Tell me a little bit about how you write songs.
Songs are every song is different. You're inspired by a certain event or some feeling that you have, and you begin writing. For me, it's usually just a thought that stays with me and won't go away. And I like this thing with Samara, it stayed with me so many years, I just couldn't stop thinking about her. And I had written a poem called The Storyteller, and it was about her. And that poem stayed with me, and eventually I was going out to the loft for a songwriter shootout like 1,000 years ago. And I needed a third song, so I wrote it in between with those lyrics and just basically playing the chords I knew how to play at the time, which were like 6 chords. And it's still my favorite song. That's one of those that every song is different. Like right now I've had this song in my head that I'm calling Ghost Train. And the lyrics came out of nowhere one day, and I just, kind of scribbled them down on a piece of paper at work. I'm an accountant by day. They say you can't be an accountant and be creative. It's a lie. I've been doing real estate accounting at Waddell Haskin and Graham for years. I'm pretty good at it. But I think it's because there's a healthy balance. I get a little bit of time by myself at work, so those songs, like, sometimes just I crank them out. And the Ghost Train song's going to be on the next album. And it's just like this chorus popped up, and I was singing, back then, the specter of innocent love was like a freight train in the dark, like a ghost train lighting up the night for me, as long as I had your heart. But time is a silhouette of broken dreams that don't require a host. I'm just a fool chasing shadows while dancing with your ghost. And it's just there.
Yeah, well, there you go. You got a sneak preview of a new song.
Yeah, and that's exactly how that song came to me. It was just that one verse, and then it just spilled out onto the page. So I think that just every single song you do just has its own thing.
Do you like working with other musicians, or do you mostly write by yourself?
I usually do it by myself, but I love working with other people. I like working with Z Ogletree, who's the bass player. Him and Jose Castellanos Jr. are both so good. Jose laid down a lot of tracks on the first album for me. He did some drums and some bass, and kind of led me through the whole process because I'd never done it before. And Z's helping me now. He can play the acoustic bass and do all this other stuff. And Tino Lopez is actually playing the congas for me. He's great. Absolutely love him to pieces. It's kind of nice to do a little 3-piece acoustic thing, but I want to get back to my rock band. I miss it so bad. I bought an Ibanez, and it's just got the sparkles all over it. And I love that guitar. Every time I touch it, I want to jump up and play it, and I don't have people to play with. So I would love to have a band again, but right now I'm just trying to focus on getting the album done.
Yeah. Let's get back to some music. What's the next one you want to play for us?
It's called Rooms of the Soul.
Rooms for the Soul.
Lovely room within my soul, your memory lives inside. Your ghost still waits in the corner chair, arms outstretched and wide. You're my strength, my refuge, my light within. Your memory lives on in me. The ghost cries out a mournful plea, but in rooms of my soul you are free. In the rooms of my soul you are free. It's so hard living without your love. We never did say goodbye. The days drift on in a sad refrain. Lonesome without you am I. You're my strength, my refuge, my light within. Your memory lives on in me. Your ghost cries out a mournful plea, but in rooms of my soul you are free. In the rooms of my soul you are free. So hard living in the world today without you by my side. No more do I have to worry and cry. My strength, my refuge, my light within. Your memory lives on in me. No more will my heart cry a mournful plea. In rooms of my soul we are free. In the rooms of my soul we are free. Free.
So tell me a little bit about how that song inspired you. Or you were inspired to write that song.
I actually have a friend. Her name is Deborah Pastazinski. She just passed back in January. We've been friends for 22 years and kind of watched each other's kids grow up. And she had stage 3 bile duct cancer. And on top of the fact that she was disabled and almost completely blind, she could see nothing out of one eye and exactly what she wanted to see out of the other one. And she was hilarious. We'd go shopping. She'd have her little looking glass and she was picking up tags to look at stuff. It was great. And she was one of those people that no matter how far down she got, I mean, she complained, but she didn't live like she had disabilities. She was just living. And when she got sick, I had to spend a lot of time over there because she, inherited the house from her mother who had just recently passed, and she was a hoarder, so there was a lot to do. So I was there a lot. And Deborah asked me, because I had not played music in a while. I had let it go for probably 5 years. And Deborah said, do me a favor, because I'm not going to be here long. She said, do me a favor and don't let your music die with an age or a body type. You get back out there, let that blonde hair fly and just sing. And I said, okay, I'm going to do that. And I did, and that's her song.
It's a good story. All right. Well, so you play Columbus, you play a little bit in Alabama?
Yeah.
You kind of do any traveling? How can people get a hold of you if they want to hire you? They see the show, they go, wow, we got to get her in our restaurant or bar or grill, and how can they get a hold of you to see about booking you?
The easiest way to get me is on Facebook. A Facebook message goes straight to my phone, and I'm immediately on my phone because that's where my money is. Yes, I want to come to work today. That's how I got here, with a Facebook message. I love Facebook. People are like, oh, what do you do? It's on this trashy site all the time. And I'm like, it's fun. I had a conversation today with a man who speaks Russian and a man who speaks Turkish. And I used Google Translator to have a conversation with him on Facebook. It was great. Do you know how awesome it is to have fans that live in other countries? Oh my goodness, I was just in shock. And I was like, I'm going to do the courteous thing and I'm going to translate it into their language so that they don't have to work to speak English because it's difficult for them. And it was so much fun. And I learned a lot about Russia and Turkey and the tourism business over there and the Russian places.
You better watch out. They'll be investigating you before long.
I know, right? I wondered about that. But I mean, it's Facebook is a good way to get a hold of me. And I'm usually free because, like I said, I've been in the studio, so I haven't worked out a lot. In the last probably 6 months, I've been more in the studio than I have been out playing. But I do a lot of coffee shops, and I do occasionally get the open mics when I'm free.
Well, that's how you get music recorded is write and record. So.
Exactly, yeah.
So that's cool. Well, you got a couple more for us. So what's the next one that you want to sing?
Thinking about doing Traffic Jamming.
Okay. Let's take a listen.
Sitting through a green light in La La Heaven. Can't get to work, it's 7:15. Sitting in the traffic and they're thinking of money. Dreaming of redemption in the land of milk and honey. Life is a traffic jam and I'm coming through. You'll get out of my way if you know what's good for you. Got places to visit, life shores the sea. Sit at your green light, but it's clear roads for me. Clear roads for me. For me. Good God, it just rained and they forgot how to drive. They're not going 90, then they go 25. Just once I would like to enjoy the haul, but I'm stuck in my traffic and my car just stalled. Life is a traffic jam and I'm coming through. You'll get out of my way if you know what's good for you. I got places to visit and life shores to see. Sit at your green light, but it's clear roads for me. Clear roads for me. Clear roads for me. Now please understand, because rushing I'm not. Why race to the finish if the end's all you've got? So enjoy the drive and take care of your car. She might not be much, but she could take you far. You avoid the traffic, don't sit through green lights. Don't you ride down my street while you're shining your brights. Do like I do and come right on through. I have life's roads to see, but I could share them with you. Life is a traffic jam and I'm coming through. Get out of my way if you know what's good for you. I got places to visit, life's roads to see. Sit at your green light, but it's clear roads for me. Clear roads for me. Clear roads for me.
So that's a cool tune and clever lyrics. I liked it. I like it. Can you? Where did that one come from? I'm always intrigued on how people write songs, so that's why I ask.
I was on my way to a gig for actually a TV show in Atlanta, and my car was sitting in traffic and it ran hot and I got stuck, and then it started to rain, and I love Atlanta, but I hate driving in Atlanta. And lately I've come to love driving in Atlanta a whole lot more than here. But at the time it was, there was a wreck or something and the traffic was backed up, so I wrote the song sitting in traffic, being late to the show. And got there, and luckily they were late too. And there was a girl said, "Oh, Miss So-and-so's late. Here, I'm gonna fix you a cup of coffee. Have a seat," because I was soaked by the time I got there. I had makeup people running around fixing me up. It was like, man, this is great. And then they walked in late because they got stuck behind the traffic too.
Yeah, we don't have makeup people on this show.
No, you can look at me and tell, okay?
Yeah. So that's cool. That's cool. And you got another song for us. So what's this one about?
This one's called Prophet the Prophet. It's Profit, Prophet. Prophet the Prophet. When I lived in Savannah many, many years ago, there was an old man always on the street corners, and they had a sign. He always said positive things like, smile, laugh, love, Jesus saves. And one day he was standing up there with a sign that said, "I'm hungry and I work for food." So I bought him some breakfast and we talked for a little while, and he told me things that had not yet happened in the world. And then they did happen. And I got to learn a lot about his life, and it was such a humbling story. And then I had a battle with homelessness myself, probably about 10 years ago. And I thought, I'm going to write a song for him. And if I could sell that song, all the money that I make for it, I'm going to give to the Valley Rescue Mission, because they saved my neck when I was really far down.
Yeah, they do great things.
They do. They're awesome people. Everyone over there was, I needed groceries for my kids. They were right there, and, I didn't have a place to stay. And, they let me stay there. And they're supposed to charge you, I think, but I never had to pay anything. So, it was great. I want to help them back. When somebody does something for you, you want to help back.
We constantly try and help around here at the music store with all those kind of things, and I think it's a great thing. So I'm glad that you got touched enough to want to help them as well. So let's take a listen to this song, and one more time, give it up for Ronni Wright here on No Cover Music Magazine. We'll see you next week for the next episode. Have a great night.
Prophets were poor people, they were poor to the bone. Called him good fortune, and they took him on home to a shack in the city that was battered and worn. Prophet's name and money all, but the word had dug much deeper. Daddy was drunk, his mama was lazy. Prophet, he was a keeper. He said, shake your Bible and give your speeches. Run down heaven's sky. Prophet can show you what a real prophet is before you gotta die. Let him lay down the law of Jerusalem and bring us all as one. Got a long, long way to go, prophet man, before your prophecy is done. He had all money and wealth, but he had to let it go. Knowing the things that he knew inside, possessions troubled him so. People were dying in the street, Lord, every single day. Babies were starving, thieves were thriving. Prophet had a lot to say. He said, shake your Bible and give your speeches. Run down heaven's sky. Prophet can show you what a real prophet is before you gotta die. Let him lay down the law of Jerusalem and bring us all as one. Got a long, long way to go, you prophet man, before your prophecy is done. He's on a street corner, a cardboard sign in hand. Couple of pride and a sickness inside, the most he's a ragged old man. Prophet was walked by it full, and he preached and ran and raved. But no one was saved or read the words on his sign that said, simply Jesus saves. He said, shake your Bible and give your speeches. Run down heaven's sky. Prophet can show you what a real prophet is before you gotta die. Let him lay down the law of Jerusalem and bring us all as one. Got a long, long way to go, you poor old man, before your prophecy is done. He said, shake your Bible, you go give your speeches. You can run down heaven's sky. Got a long, long way to go, you poor old man, before you gotta die.